This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
And the rubber chicken says... Oh, wow. If Donald Trump is backing the run of Herschel Walker for the Senate, then maybe he'd back my run for office. But what do I know? I'm just a rubber chicken. Well, you can call him on your own dime, okay? Maybe he'll back you. I don't know. Well, we'll find out some other time because we've got to get on with the Rantcast number 55, entitled Al Roker, You Is Cray Cray. Or Al Roker, you're nuts. You are crazy. You are that's unbelievable. I mean, a long time ago, I made a joke about way back about Al Roker and him being a weatherman. And this certainly shows a commitment that is bordering on the psychotic. I just went online to read a tweet from him that he'd made the decision to go there. I thought they sent him there as some sort of a penance that he had to do. Are you kidding me? First off, I've never understood why you have people reporting from the middle of hurricanes, okay? It's a hurricane. Put a camera out there, okay? Put 9 cameras out there and let them watch what it is from some other place, okay? For God's sake, they were announcing baseball games from other cities. What the fuck's the matter? What is the matter with people? It's a storm. What do you say? Well, the wind's blowing, and you're telling people to hide, and you're standing in the middle of it. Hey, yeah, it's coming this way. Boy, it's going to be a big one. Then you're interviewing people who are saying they're staying, and you're asking them, why they're staying. Well, you're staying, fucknut. Well, I got to report it. No, you don't. You can. You certainly. Well, you can report it, but not standing there. It's insanity. Okay, come on, Al. Okay, I mean, I get you. That is commitment beyond belief. All right, you didn't need to prove to me that you're a committed weatherman now, and you have been for years. I guess you've learned it now. I guess what's amazing to me, and I have to share this, is that he way back when I did these jokes about him, I think I even referred to him as a fat fuck. He when I first met him, I believe at the Weather Channel, if I remember correctly, but I don't have a memory, but he said that he really enjoyed my jokes about it, and that it helped at that time to put him on the map, and he had a real sense of humor about it, and he really is. It's that thing about television doesn't lie. He's really just a sweetheart, and he doesn't need to be out there. Okay, none of them need to be out there. A war zone, yes, I kind of understand that, and there's a precedent for that makes sense. All right, you need to kind of follow shit around, and certainly in terms of we saw it in World War II and in Vietnam, and then we lost it in the Iraq War because boy, we're not going to have people cover that shit. But for hurricanes, fuck you. Afterwards, you come in there and go, holy shit, look what happened. Hurricane Ida, no less. All right, guys, and my grandma's name was Ida. It's Grandma Ida. It's not Hurricane Ida. Hurricane Jeannette is dead on my mother's name. Okay, you might name a hurricane after her, but my grandmother, no, she was a very sweet woman. But most grandmothers are. Hurricane Ida. I went, wow, when they get to your grandmother's name, I think you realize that they must be running out of names. And it hit New Orleans like a ton of fucking bricks. Holy fuck. On the same time frame that fucking Katrina hit. What level of biblical shit is going on here? Huh? And then we're walking out. That was a good move. And we live in Afghanistan, around the time of 9/11. So that allows, Lindsay Graham, who I listened to blather off today. Lindsey Graham, who won't put up an investigation for January 6th, wants to wants to impeach President Biden for his fuck up in Afghanistan. And on the basis of that, you could fucking impeach a ton of presidents in terms of that shit, in terms of their mistakes, in terms of war. We haven't gotten that right in so long. So shut the fuck up, Lindsay. Okay? Seriously. Put your criticism in. All right? But forget, you got to do, if you're worried about one, boy, we got to worry about these. He's more worried about the terrorist threat from there. We got a terrorist threat here. You can't ignore that one and tell me that that's the one I should worry about. You got to worry about both of them. God damn it. Where's some fucking common sense? All right? Son of a bitch. Al Roker should be the senator from South Carolina. He's got as much right as Herschel Walker being that probably blew the screen up there. But Herschel Walker running for office in Georgia against Ralph Warnock. I mean, what? And he lives in Texas. But boy, and for those of you wondering, well, how come, he's a Trump supporter? Well, Trump paid him $1 gazillion to be on a football team, the USFL. We had a team here in New York, the United States Football League. And Trump had a team, and he paid Walker a fortune. And so, of course, Walker's a big supporter of him, So, which just I don't fathom. Even if he did get paid a fortune, you think he would kind of, and running for office. God, Herschel Walker, it just, I can't keep up. My mind is just, it's too much. It's like our brains are, like a bowl, and they've thrown in a bunch of ingredients, Afghanistan, the Senate, Congress, the court system, these laws in terms of voting, and everything else, hurricanes, all of it. And they put it all right here, and there's the big mixing bowl, and they've shoved in a mechanical egg beater that just grinds the fucking shit up every day. And God damn it, it's tiresome. For those of you who are managing through it, my hat is off to you, because it's worn me the fuck out. I want to talk, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to say today, because I have nothing. There's nothing new. There's no insight. There's no revelation, because it's the same shit mixed mastered over and over and over again. And I can't even remember if I said that it was, horrifying what happened last week with ISIS or the suicide bomber, and losing all of those kids, really. Kids, most of them who were born at the time the war started. The mind reels. And we really have to figure out how, other than to say thank you for your service, there has to be something else. We have to really start giving a commitment to them. We have to give a commitment to all people in this country, but especially those who serve. Seriously. Don't tell me we can't figure out how to do the VA. None of this is tough. All right? Hand it over. You know what? Hand it over to a homeroom class of 15-year-olds and see if they can come up with a better idea. It might just work, okay? Just by an accident of the fact that they're alphabetically in there for no apparent reason other than their last names. So there's a real mix there. Maybe that's the way we should figure out our, the way we do voting is like have, just have a, put a thing in and have a mix master that, can't say mix master twice. I said egg beater, now mix master. Obviously my brain is spinning. But what you can't do, it may be a way to get over gerrymandering, is to take all the names of the people in the state, and figure out how many people are in each section, and instead of doing it by maybe the areas, do it by names, and see, you know, and then kind of have a lottery and spin that around and see how that works out and see who ends up with not. That my idea doesn't work, and I rescind that idea. And I'm sorry I took us down that road, and I shouldn't have wasted our time with it. But I was looking for something else. I thought I had an idea there, and I lost it, and it doesn't make sense. Maybe someone out there will pick up the thread and carry it through, because what we've got now in terms of it is bullshit on a stick. I can't get over this. I just can't get over what's going on. And tomorrow is, I'm doing this today because tomorrow's my birthday. And I'm like anyone who's got their birthday this year, unless you had like a window, it's not going to be a big celebration. Because of the what's been going on, and you can't have a lot of people once again, even those of us who are all vaxxed up and ready to go, can't have us all in a confined space, unless it's just a few people, because otherwise, because of the nature of the way things are right now, and the power of this fucking variant, the Delta variant, I guess it is. I guess is that it's kind of kicking down the doors on even those of us who are vaxxed, but it's not putting us in the hospital. Very few, very, very few, very few. And as I read yesterday on in the Twitterverse, as someone said, they had vaxxed and they could still get erections, which proves that it's okay. I don't know how to tell people to be sure and go get that vaccine. I don't know how to do it. But, if you're not, go do it, please. Okay? It's the only thing that we got. It's the only thing that stands between us and a tomorrow that is livable, and where your children, we don't lose children. There's no reason. You can't just say, well, we're not going to worry about it because only, people who are saying the kids don't die, they do die. All right. Fact. It's a fucking fact. Don't deny the facts. Stop denying the facts. When you deny the facts, you become, in essence, I believe, someone who's nuts and somewhat of a criminal if you pass that on, especially if you pass it on to your kids and tell them that and then send them off to school without a mask on. And you can't say, well, even if just a few kids are going to die. Nobody should, not over this. Mm-mm. So I've never been big on my birthday. My parents didn't really push birthdays. We never were big on them. And mine coming at the end of August, just before Labor Day, it was like it's too hot to have a party. It just never worked out until I started to meet people like one of my friends, Willie, whose birthday is right just before Christmas. Boy, that's a fuck. That really fucks your birthday. That just can't. Well, I got your Christmas present, so fuck you. It's a double present. But and I've never liked that happy birthday fuck song. That's never been a joy to me. None of it. No, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. No. Nope. I wanted to say more about birthdays, but I don't really know what to say. I thought I had more to say about it, but that was really it. I don't have a lot to say. I really don't. It's been, I wish that I could say that, oh boy, this getting older is really, I really kind of feel, better now than I did when I was younger. I don't feel better now than I did when I was younger. I don't understand it. Things, my mind is this now because of, I've grown. It may be in part because of what has been going on over the past, 600 days now. That may be the reason for this not being great. But even as I was approaching, 70, I was going, nah, this is not boy, what are they, I feel so much better at 65 than I ever did. No, I didn't. I felt pretty good at 30. And maybe maybe for some folks, and I get this, is when you're 30, if you had some sort of high, heavily, if you had anxiety and depression, and then got over it later on, you would feel better. I actually picked up anxiety and depression as I've grown older, and certainly during this lovely time frame that we've been living through, it certainly has made it quite wonderful. So so it's, and a lot of people have been cheated out of their birthday this year, except for, and we've talked about it, the former President Obama, who drove his express train through to be sure that he could celebrate his 60th. I don't feel a loss. I feel kids who don't get theirs, they're fucked. That's not right. And somebody's turning 21, that's a fuck. Somebody turning 16, get to drive, that's fucked. Somebody turning 18, going off to college, that's fucked. Mm-hmm. Somebody turning 30, those marker years, 30, 40, 50, 60, fucked. So I can't really bitch that I'm not getting it. I like to usually celebrate with my friends after my birthday and really just have a gathering and get to see everybody before we go back our separate ways that fall, and then really, try to see each other. But, it's, how things are. And then we didn't get to see each other till Christmas. So it was always kind of a great time just around before or after Labor Day. And also I didn't like my birthday because it was right at that, and I didn't realize it until later that, it was right on that beginning of fall is coming. And I fucking hate fall. I know many of you can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of those leaves changing color, but that's you're just a moment away from them. Those naked trees that are just bare because the wind is howling through them and you can hear the march of time. Huh? Happy birthday. It's a mortality festival. And it's, I leave you with one thing here, and we're going to wrap this up. It's a little short today. I'm sorry if I wasn't funny enough. I really hope to be funnier. And I'll remember once I fucking get away from here and close this down that I went, fuck, I should have talked about this, and then I'll come back and have to do this fuck again. Mm-hmm. But from the roles of the clinically insane, which seem to still have grown to a proportion I never thought possible in this country. Never thought it possible. There were this many people out there who are bull fucking loony crazy fucks. This from St. Louis. That my pal Kathleen Madigan, maybe this one of the sanest people that come out of St. Louis. Another friend of mine, Jeff Davis, he came out of that area too. It's two of them. Because right now, boy, Missouri needs guidance. A St. Louis taxi company is refusing to carry passengers who wear face masks or who've been vaccinated. What? Charlie Bullington, owner of Yo Transportation, says he's protecting his drivers from germs shed by face masks and vaccinated passengers. Germs shed by face masks and vaccinated passengers. Non-existent phenomena, he says he researched on the internet. That shit's got to stop. Okay? When do we fucking put some fucking oversight onto that? Okay? Some sort of a fucking court where you get a group of people trusted by both sides, all sides, every side, sits down and go, is this real or unreal? Okay? Because if it's unreal, fuck it, take it off. Take it the fuck off. Because it's not helping. And it's killing people. Bullington says he's proud that Missouri is one of the top 3 states with the lowest vaccination rate. I'm going to repeat that again because that's a statement by someone who is completely lost touch with reality. Not, as I started with Al Roker's crazy. That's a kind of a funny crazy. This is true possible psychosis. He says he's proud that Missouri is one of the top 3 states with the lowest vaccination rate. So thanks for keeping that variant pumping out there and making it impossible for us to get back to a normal existence here. Wow. People around the globe hear that stuff, Mr. Bullington, and they flip the fuck out. And you know what? They don't pay attention to us anymore. And is that important? Yeah, that's fucking important. Especially after what just happened in Afghanistan. All right? We'd like people to, to pay attention to kind of the leadership we can provide. And that's not leadership. That's fucking insanity. So that wraps it up. Another happy week. Oh, boy. And I want to thank you all, everybody who sent in the rants. And I'm telling you this, I'm stockpiling the shit out of them. And it's a joy to read them and keep them coming. I think you'll find some that you'll really enjoy the ones that have been coming in this week, and there are more to follow. And I deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate the gift that is to me. That's the best birthday gift you could give me, is to send in some rants. Get it off your chest. Let the world know what you're fucking pissed about. And that'll make my day. And that's better than hearing you sing happy birthday. Take care of each other. Okay? And thanks again. I knew I'd forget something. Huh? Look at this. See this? Orioles. I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it in honor of the fact that my Baltimore Orioles have stopped the bleeding. Okay? 19 games in a row they lost. They were heading toward a record. And that was it. That losing streak stopped at 19. So in honor of them, hey, I'm behind you 100%. Every article that I've read, it looks like we're completely fucked for another year. And that this whole idea of kind of getting things together, we have the same fucking amount of money, it turns out, as Tampa Bay, budget-wise, and they can get teams, but we just don't know how to fucking do it. It's just too sad. But the good news is, they don't show many of our games on TV unless we're playing the Yankees, who pound us. But otherwise, hard to find in New York City on the old cable. Can't get them. So that kind of helps. So, good luck. And what a nice little bird, huh? Tweet, 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 tweet. Go get 'em, O's. I can't believe I forgot this. Jeff Rosa has shared a rant that turns back in on itself. I would call this a Mobius rant. I've been married for 17 years to a wonderful, smart, and caring woman. Despite her many great attributes, there's one thing that she does that drives me fucking insane. And no matter how many times I bring it up, she still cannot do a simple thing like turn off the fucking bathroom light. I come home and the fucking light is on with no one in the bathroom. I turn it off and 30 minutes later I come down the hallway and the fucking bathroom light is on again. What the fuck? How hard is it for an educated person to turn off a fucking light? So here's the thing, Louis. For years, this has drove me fucking batshit crazy. It has raised my blood pressure and generally just pissed me off. And here's the really fucked up thing. I was in the bathroom recently to turn off the fucking light, and I happened to glance up at the light bulb. It is one of those weird ass looking energy saver light bulbs. And it got me to thinking, how much does it cost to run this light? I mean, after a little bit of math, which thankfully I can do because I was raised in a time when they made sure you learned such things in school, I figured out that if I left the light on for a year, it would cost me all of $1.87. Holy fuck. What a stupid fucking idiot I've been. Hell, I can pick up that much money in a fucking parking lot. And I've been driving myself crazy all these years for a fucking $1.87. Now I'm pissed for being so stupid for so long. So now I have sanity for a measly $1.87 a year. And you know what? Fuck it. For $1.87, I might just take the light switch out and leave the light on permanently. And that way she can't forget to turn off the fucking bathroom light. Well, Jeff, first off, I'm kind of amazed that the one bathroom light drove you crazy to begin with. And I get to share, there's a play by Eugene O'Neill called Long Day's Journey in the Night, in which the father figure in that gets pissed because the wasted electricity and raves on about it like a lunatic. But you could, maybe that would give you some comfort to maybe to watch that. There've been a couple of film versions of it, or you can sit down and read it if you got the time. It's so rare that I get to use my theater education and to be able to use it on this Mobius rant. I mean, you were coming at her full bore and realized it was on yourself. But remember, before that, it wasn't $1.87. It was a lot more when you had to keep changing the light bulb. So there was a time when you would have been correct, Jeff. Maybe 17 years ago. I can't remember when those fucking lights started. Those lights, the ones that saved us money and electricity started coming out. The energy savers, I mean. So I thank you for that. Now you can truly worship your wife because she took the one thing that was bothering you off the table. This rant comes to us from name withheld upon request. Dear Lewis, for years I've heard the horror stories about the drop-off in services for those on the autism spectrum once they age out of the school system. Well, I'm a smart cookie, and no government bullshit was going to stop me from making sure my darling could have a life of meaning and meaningful employment. I've always prided myself on taking care of my tiny corner of the world, working to make sure I and those I'm responsible for do not become burdens on society. So my dearest delight graduated from high school with respectable grades and a few honors. We found a college at which he majored in a foreign language and lived in the dorms a few hours away from home. He graduated during this fucking pandemic. So far, so good. And then we hit the brick wall known as job coaching. He's been working as a COVID cleaner at not one, but two places of employ. He's made the transition to the working world, and he, as we, are proud of his role in helping keep the public safe. For the first year after graduation, this has been good, useful, and respectable. But these jobs are being eliminated as restrictions ease. It's time to move on. He's got the smarts and the work ethic to move on and up. But neither of these goddamn businesses will hire him as a cashier. Why? Because they know he has autism. Because he had a goddamn job coach ease his transition into work. Then, thinking the job was done, stopped advocating for his advancement, allowed the management to set low expectations, and became MIA. Autism is seriously misunderstood. My dearest delight is not the autistic savant genius stereotype the general public wants all persons with autism to be, nor is he the uncommunicative ball of rage meltdowns the general public fears all persons with autism might be. No, my darling occupies the vast gray middle area. He's just an average, innocent, sweet guy who doesn't present well or know how to advocate for himself. Given some of the troglodytes I've encountered working at the checkout line, my kid with the sunny disposition would run rings around them. And there's a college degree with chemistry and advanced math courses right on his resume, for Christ's sake. Lewis, I think the labor shortage in this country is a huge lie. What we've got is a shortage of on-the-job training, a shortage of management willing to utilize people who are ready and able to work, but don't have the specialized skill set required to waltz into even a stupid goddamn entry-level position without a little orientation to the job. You know what the worst part of this is for me? I'm helpless. I'm helpless. Now that my little darling is a grown-ass adult, I can't mediate on his behalf out in the world anymore. No manager, God forbid, wants a goddamn mother up in their face in a job interview or at a performance review. I don't want to do it. And the thought of it horrifies me. I never wanted to be a helicopter parent, a bulldozer parent, but my kid, who might otherwise be institutionalized had I listened to the advice of others, is a college graduate who can take care of most tasks of daily living. I just need to shake off the molasses dragging us down into a flowers for Algernon world of janitorial employment. Shudder. Name withheld on request. A disclaimer here at the end. Not all job coaches are overworked assembling assholes, but most job coaches are overworked and underpaid. Everyone involved in this rant means well, but evidently that's not enough. All stories like this have several sides, and maybe I don't understand how it's supposed to work. But I have one job, which is to make sure my kid can be as independent as possible. And I feel like I've stalled out and am failing. Well, you who've kept your name withheld, you haven't stalled out, and you certainly haven't failed. Not in the midst of this, not in the midst of a pandemic. All things seem to have kind of gone awry. Pandemic-itis or something. Every time I call it was, when we try to do something good, somehow it turns out to be bad. When we end up doing something bad, it turns out to be, you've got a whole group of people, and a small group of people actually, who are putting the brakes on a lot of things that should be moving along in certain directions. And it is a small group of people. And it's the loud ones, the ones who are screaming. And so maybe, you feel like you should be yelling and screaming along with the rest of them. But, you're doing what you can under the circumstances. I feel like I'm patting you on the back because you deserve it. It's tough. But what is appalling, and I think you're absolutely right, is this employment thing. And I think that this certainly is one story in the midst of many. We got all these jobs that are going begging. Well, I really don't think that our journalists have kind of kept up on it, or those who, provide us with, those who provide us with the news have not. It's a portion of the news that has gotten lost. And both sides, honk their horns about whatever they feel about this. And your son gets whacked in the middle of it. There's more to the story of unemployment than they're telling us. And And this is one story, and thanks for sharing it. Nicole Nemo wanted to share this rant with us. A little backstory before ripping the lid off the rant. On July 2nd, my dad died. Over the last 3 weeks, time has slowed to a crawl. Now my dad's mother, my Mamaw or Mamaw, is dying. I'm her guardian. I'm 36. This is too goddamn much life all at once. For the last week, I've been forcing myself to screw my head on in the morning and attempt resuming back into default life. I'm in my garden listening to the July 6th Rantcast, and I'm reminded I have an unresolved beef. During said Rantcast, you brought up the redneck rave in Ollie, Kentucky. God damn it. I live 40 minutes from Ollie in central Kentucky. I'm there once a month, driving on a windy country road, passing through Ollie to enter the backcountry trails at Mammoth Cave National Park. Ollie isn't just some redneck shithole in bumfuck Egypt. It's a beautiful community that borders my national park, my treasured national park, my sanctuary. Mammoth Cave is where I went to heal my mind and body after surviving Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 29. This place is a gift I share with other young adult cancer folks and chronically ill youth in our area. The trails there give us a place where we can learn to trust our fucked up bodies after such a betrayal. The wildlife, the flora, the caves in this UNESCO site, yes, UNESCO heritage site, is a gem myself and others wish to keep pristine. Leave no trace isn't just about packing out your shit. It's about protecting the soil, water, and air for such a unique ecosystem. Besides my personal attachment to Mammoth Cave National Park, Green River, yes, John Prine's Green River flows through the park. The river is a water source for local communities that share its banks. I live 3 miles from my pump station where the water is cleaned and considered city water. Growing up on well water, I appreciate having clean water pumped to my home that doesn't smell like ass. Now the rant. These fucknut redneck assholes can damage themselves. But why the fuck are they allowed to be in the watershed of Mammoth Cave and Green River spewing exhaust, spilling hazardous chemicals and trash about the land? Google Ollie, Kentucky. Look at the satellite view of this place and its proximity to Mammoth Cave and Green River. You'll see a large brown patch of earth next to green forests. That's the ATV park, the site of the redneck rave. The scar on the earth is obscene. As an educated hillbilly, yep, got me an edumacation. I'm a medically retired chemist. This shit chaps my ass. Chaps my ass. When I leave this state, my accent comes with me and I am immediately ID'd as a Southerner. I am often asked stupid fucking questions about the people here and the stereotypes associated with Kentucky. Yes, we wear shoes. It gets harder and harder to defend these shithead rednecks and the fuck you culture they're a part of. God damn rednecks. I may be a hillbilly, but at least I'm not a fucking redneck. Those who attend this dipshit fair, it would be nice if you all could move your experiment in Darwinism away from a national park / vital watershed and try not to harm the flora, fauna, and people who wish not to participate in your hick-hop solo cup circle jerk. Fuck. I needed to get that out. Shoo. Back to twining my tomato plants and listening to others lighten their burden in this shit show called life. Be nice to each other. God damn it. Nicole Canmer, or Canmere, Kentucky. Thank you, Nicole. Or Nicolay. I've never fucking... It was really quite splendid. You know, it's amazing the voices that come through on these rants. And you learn things about Mammoth Cave, and I did not know that's where Green River was. For all the travel that I do, I'm an ignorant little fuck. So thank you for that. And I'm sorry for your losses. There are never words for that. But I'm sorry for your grieving. And I hope your health returns and has returned in full. They didn't fuck the place up too much so that you can take those folks out there and enjoy the cave and the river. Take care of yourself. Greg Krapp wanted to share this with us, and I'm glad he did. I'm an American, but the last time I lived in the land of the free, Ronald Reagan was president. Hold on for a second. I got to wrap my head around that. Where the fuck did my life go? Anyway, I now live in Spain, Madrid specifically. The pandemic has been a total shit show here, with the national and local government shifting between lockdowns and open-ups in a bipolar attempt to not overwhelm hospitals and also not crash what sometimes seems to be an economy made up almost entirely of bars, restaurants, and nightclubs. The Florida of Europe. That said, the people of Spain have been absolutely great so far in getting vaccinated. Despite the confused government messaging, occasional panic on the nightly news about vaccine side effects, and general chaos from the top, people in the health service have been fantastic. And citizens have lined up, got their shots, and as of July 23rd, 100% of the over 80s, 92% of the over 40s, and 72% of all adults have been vaccinated with at least one jab. And we started out slow because of a lack of supply, while the USA was swimming in vaccines. Even the youngsters are lining up. Madrid has 24/7 vaccine sites, book solid. How about a 3 a.m. Tuesday vaccine shot after a couple of beers? God, I wish I was young again. Anyway, no drama, no BS, no microchip cell shedding or whatever conspiracy theory is now out there. No celebrity vaccinations, no lotteries, no prizes, except not getting sick, obviously, but hey, no free beer, no free tacos and subs or whatever other goddamn prizes and bribes Americans need to protect their own health. In Spain, you don't choose your vaccine like you're ordering at the burger joint drive-through window. You're given whatever is available among the 4 approved vaccines for your age group and health condition. And half of all the vaccines manufactured in Europe have been exported to help vaccinate people in other countries, instead of expiring in drugstore fridges while people think about maybe saving some lives, including their own, by getting off their asses and getting vaccinated. What the hell has happened to the USA? Why are people so self-obsessed, so narcissistic, so damned ignorant that they won't even do the right thing for themselves and everybody else in the face of a global health emergency? Huh? It's just beyond my understanding. Makes me a little scared, because what starts out in the USA usually ends up in the rest of what used to be called the free world. So please, Americans, get your fucking vaccination act together. Whew. Thanks for letting me get this off my chest, Lewis. Well, thanks for getting it off your chest. You're my anger management therapist, and I absolutely wish I lived somewhere where I could go see you live. You can use my name if you want, but just keep in mind, I don't take any crap about it. All right, Greg Krapp. Oh, boy. That was, it was glad to hear from you. And glad for you to point out exactly the way the rest of the world, apparently at least, or at least what you're doing in Spain. You know, there was this yelling and screaming about what's happening and, you know, how we dealt with Afghanistan. Well, I mean, people must, the rest of the world must look at us in terms of this vaccination thing, as you said, and must be just disgusted. People get it. Everywhere else, they're desperate for it. Here it's like, oh, fuck, it's just old people dying, so fuck it. It's beyond beyond anything I ever imagined. It's like one last dip into the shit tank. One last, hey, let's go back into the dark ages of that, of American history, the dark ages when we just kind of didn't really, when we, you didn't need to wash your hands before surgery because there might be, you might be shedding some water droplets or some fucking thing. Stephen Leckman, short, sweet, and right to the point. What has been making me nuts is the fact I can no longer use the excuse, he must be high, when people do dumb shit stuff. I'll explain. Since about 2/3 of the country now allow the use of marijuana for recreational use, I can no longer use that excuse when people act like morons because, of course, they're high. It's like they legalized moronic behavior. Now I have to think they got too high. Yes, they did, Stephen. Some didn't get high at all, and they're that dumb. Isn't that unbelievable? They're that moronic without any drugs whatsoever. Just the inability to use, what's this? Thank you, Stephen. Justin Richardson sends in this rant about one of those oldie but goodies that we don't have to deal with much anymore unless you end up finding her, as Justin did. I was taking a quick break today and decided to scroll Twitter. Bad idea. I came across the recent statement released by Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and boy, did it make my fucking day. She spouts off the normal bullshit that the right spews and wraps up the first few sentences with personal freedom and responsibility. For fuck's sake, how is a mask mandate, a vaccine mandate, or any other public health mandate a violation of personal freedom? If the president said, don't drink the water, it has shit in it, these asshats would line up to drink it because personal freedom. Fuck off. The comparison of this entire pandemic to Nazi Germany is fucking pathetic. There is no, I repeat, no fucking comparing the two. One, currently, we are trying to ask everyone to come together to protect everyone, help save each other by wearing a piece of cloth over your mouth while in public, and take a vaccine that could help end this nightmare. Two, they were slaughtering Jewish people because one guy had some truly fucked up beliefs. They are not the same, not even close, and it never will be. So fucking stop it. Next up, she goes on to say that, and this is when my brain started thumping against my skull. The Biden administration should thank Trump and give him credit to help persuade people to get said vaccine. Now, to sum up all this fucked up shit, the right wants us to not trust the science or believe it, but give credit to their former leader for the creation of it, which in turn would then make people want to get it. That sorry sack of deflated sour shit is part of the problem. Have a great day. Say hi to Mom. Justin Richardson. It is amazing. Yeah, give them credit for something that they don't want to do. Give them credit, for something they don't want to do because it's like they do it. It's like they're Nazi Germany. It's just beyond. In order to find a way into how to break down the logic, you have to lose your mind in order to get to that point. And in the meantime, we're in the midst of trying to get to that point. We've lost our minds. I hope you haven't lost yours, Justin. It doesn't appear to be. Stay out of Twitter. Take a break. When you see some of those people, just skip them. Or you can go down a rabbit hole, and you don't want to go there because there are no rabbits. None at all. Just a lot of rabbit. A lot of rabbit. Long-time listener, first-time ranter here, and as many before me have said, your Rantcast has been a much-needed confirmation that there are others in this country who still have a handle on reality and some goddamn sense. If the whole world has gone mad, I know at least Lewis gets it, and for that I'm thankful. So it pains me to say this. What the fuck, man? I'm very happy that you're touring again with opportunities to get that energy and interaction that can only come from a live, in-person audience. But why? Oh, why are you in Cleveland, Ohio for 6 shows? In Omaha, Nebraska for 4 shows, but Madison, Wisconsin, where I live, 0 shows. Milwaukee, nothing. Chicago, nada. Minneapolis, zip. Indianapolis, forget about it. I'm vacillating between the only 2 explanations that seem reasonable to me. One, you, or more like whoever does your booking, think all of the Midwest is the same, so who gives a fuck? I take umbrage, sir. Umbrage, I tell you. I take umbrage. I assure you, aside from some nasalized word pronunciations and a general fear of confrontation, the Midwest states are nothing alike. If someone says, hey, come to Minnesota, you can't say, I'm going to Nebraska, close enough. Or 2, the only other explanation I come up with is that you don't feel like you're quite ready for prime time yet, and so you're only hitting practice cities. Will come to more places once the cobwebs are cleared from the last 18 months of COVID living, assuming the dipshits who won't mask or vax don't send us all into lockdown again. I hope that's what's happening. I haven't been able to catch you in person yet, and I sincerely hope I get to sometime. I know I live in a region often referred to as flyover country. It just stings sometimes when you get literally flown over. Thanks for all you do, Heidi. Listen, Heidi, I'm pleased you sent that out there, and I'm sorry to piss you off about something. Look, I've been coming to those states for years. It's not like I fly over them. I've been in Milwaukee a ton from the very beginning, playing a club there, and then playing the Pabst, which is just love doing that. Even gone there and opened for Kathleen, Madison, Chicago, all of it. I have pounded my way through the Midwest for years now, and so how did I end up going to Cleveland and Omaha and Ohio and Cleveland, Omaha, and for those shows? How come not Indianapolis? Well, first off, you got to realize that those are clubs, and that I can play there and then go back and play them again. And I needed to work on my act because it was 500 days. I just did the show recently I talked about in the Rantcast a while ago. I just did my first show after 500 days. So I needed to go find some places, clubs that I really like. I love working the Funny Bone in Omaha. I really love Hilarities in Cleveland. I was going to try to play a club in Huntsville. I'm not going to play Huntsville now. I can't. I've explained that. I'm not going to go through it again. I'm not going to play Omaha. I'll be playing Cleveland. I needed to get my act together. And also, we needed to push the dates out so we could set up a schedule that made sense. I was picking up the dates that I have in the fall now coming up, in the winter, the beginning of it through December are dates that we had in place and kept, and then we wanted to put together the big city tour again. And they'll be so we'll be rolling your way. So don't panic, Heidi. We'll see you down the road. Okay? I don't fly over, I bus in. That's the way it goes, Heidi. And sometimes I don't have a choice. Sometimes, and I try to get through once every 18 months. That's the deal. That's what they tell me, so that enough people show up that we can pay the rent and pay the salaries of the gang that wanders around with me all over the country, so that the show works well for you as well as for me. Thanks for writing in. Take care. Parker Duff has sent in a lament. That's what I would call this. Not really a rant, a lament. I wrote to you some time ago. One is never sure these days, with the concept of time being irrelevant in this circus of a nation. It was about the having of weddings, etc., during a global pandemic. I wanted to revisit that now, but in all honesty, what's the point? This may be hyperbolic, but we are witnessing the death of the American empire. There may well be a new America on the other side. Still, I cannot in good conscience lie to myself or you that is any more realistic of a probability than the Orioles winning the AL pennant. I come from working poor stock. I was raised by a grandmother saved by the New Deal and parents who got to experience and benefit from the last great boom in American history. Still, we were poor by the time I was born. Education was the ticket out. It was pounded into me that education would deliver me and this world from my father's inequities and the folly of mistakes that were sure to be visited upon the son. Naively, I believed it. I wasn't the brightest, but I was clever. At least clever enough to navigate post-9/11 adolescence and find my way stumbling through to the other side of the jungle of the higher educational system, beaten, bent, burdened, but not broken. I still had some hope that I and my cohort could and would change the world. Oh, to look upon the world again with such eyes. By the time I arrived fully formed into the real world, I was already fucked. It was 2014. The rot had begun to show, and we ignored it. And I tried to make an honest go of it. Worked 3 jobs in college, and am still saddled with debt. Couldn't buy an interview after graduation. Found bit work, mostly retailer, service industry. Got by with a lot of help from my friends. By 2016, I was again humbled and on the doorsteps of my parents. Over the next 3 years, I watched my grandmother and father wither and die, along with losing my best friend to suicide. Do not pity me. There are those in this world who have had it far, far worse than I. Still, I survived, persisted, and eked out a petty existence until COVID. The world stopped. I lost my job and went on the dole, but I live in Texas. So that ended to force the poor to go back and provide our bodies for the machinery of this exploited machine. Stupidly, Lewis, shortly before this time, I re-entered school to pursue a master's, a dream of my father's, and honestly, it gave me purpose. It felt good to use my brain, and not just my body, but after well over a year of being stuck at home, uncertain if we could ever get back to what the world was, I sit here exhausted and in despair. I follow the rules. I got my shot. I masked and sanitized and distanced and shut off from the world. But still, these godforsaken Homo sapiens will not do even the most minor thing to help out. Instead, they scream about their freedom and rights. Worse, they villainize those who, even after they spit on them and abuse them, are bound by law and honor to save their ungrateful and undeserving lives. Nurses and doctors are dying for nothing. Kids lay in the hallways of overstuffed hospitals, scared shitless while their parents berate the same folks they hailed as heroes not more than a year ago. Young, healthy people are dying because of the idiots who refuse to mask up or even get a shot. A shot, Lewis. A fucking shot. Teachers are left holding the bag while our state governments dither over politics. The feds are playing political football over theoretical ideas of community that indeed haven't existed since Kennedy. But blaming the Republicans or Democrats doesn't matter. It's inconsequential at this point. 600,000 plus Americans have died because of this, and hundreds of thousands more will die. And for what? What great purpose will these sacrifices be for? To save the Union so desperately derelict it should be condemned? To topple the fascism that has come back like a weed and with as much ferocity? No, they died for the pride of the privileged few. Now we know what it feels like to be a pawn on the chessboard. Honestly, Lewis, I used to have hope and love and pride in my homeland, and now I have nothing but shame, contempt, and disgust. When history called this time, we instead turned our coats instead of answering with bravery and innovations. We ran for the wilds of ignorance and self-delusion, Lewis. I'm beyond anger or rage. Indeed, I'm at such a place of apathy. The only thing I long for is the sweet and quiet embrace of eternity. At least there, I wouldn't have to daily watch the end of the world. Instead, we stumble from tragedy to scandal, and on and on and on and on. It won't end. It's not supposed to. This is what the system is supposed to do. Fear not, it's working just as planned. I used to take so much joy in life, but not anymore. Now I just try and keep my head down and out of the way. If this is the end, let it be as long and drawn out and excruciating as possible. It's no less than we deserve, but let me be exceedingly clear, Lewis. If this is the world, I want no part of it. Damn it to hell. We weren't asked to invade a continent to stop a madman or forge a new frontier in space. We were asked to put on a mask and get a free shot to pause our life just a little bit for the betterment of the world. And we failed in such a spectacular way. I shudder for the future historians. I studied drama as an undergrad, Lewis. And if this is a bit dramatic, that's just the price of doing business. I decided to study politics and history for my master's. If I believed in fate, I'd say that's poetic justice, but I don't. I'm sorry we couldn't change the world, Lewis. I know I tried. We all did. But c'est la vie, huh? Give your mom love. She's the best of us. Thank you, Lewis, for giving us an outlet. Sincerely, someone that's just all fucked out. Parker. Well, Parker, no room for comedy there. Eloquently put. I know, I really do know it's rugged. We do all the stuff that we should do. We are, in a sense, those of us who want the masking, those of us who want the vaccinations. We are, in a sense, in the majority. And we're being outshouted and outscreamed by those who are literally throwing tantrums because they're shitting their underwear. And that's why, in their underwear, I guess, is supposed to be their masks. So that's why they don't want to put them on. Who the fuck knows, Parker? I don't know. I do think that this too shall pass. I really do. I also think that this isn't the world. I just read something from Spain. You should listen to that one. You could go there. There are other countries, Parker. And you might want to visit them. And if you can. And, even Montreal is like going way out of the country. You might want to put that on your list. It will certainly give you hope. As I've said time and again in my act, nothing beats sitting in another country, having a drink and listening to all the people talk, and you can't understand a word that they're saying. Boy, it's so for that brief moment, since you don't know what they're saying, that there are no assholes anywhere. I do think that we will somehow, the lesson will be learned. And I do hope that you're too young to not feel joy again. I believe you will. I sure hope so. Thank you for that. Well said. Very eloquent, Parker. And thank you for sharing. I just wish I had some jokes. Fuck. This rant comes to us from Mildred Ellison, who's been really a constant contributor to the Rant is Due from the very beginning, from way back when. It's a rant about vegetables. And in these completely crazy times, in the midst of a shitstorm that we're living through, I think this is precisely what we need, a rant about vegetables. And I'm reading it because I believe that truly there will be some spectacular reactions to this. Okay, I want to know who the fuck decided okra was edible? Who? It's stringy, slimy, bitter, disgusting, and reminds me a little too much of all those mornings Mom made me take cod liver oil to help me be a better runner. Yeah, well, the only thing I got better at was running from her and that fucking spoonful of cod liver oil. Okra's like some sick retribution from those bastard southern states for the North winning the Civil War. That's the only possible explanation. Okra's so fucking awful, it's a biological fucking insult. The only positive is, it makes those inevitably served with it black-eyed peas seem tasty. One Thanksgiving, I went to meet my then boyfriend's ancient widowed mother. We sat down, and what she put on the plate in front of me? Fucking okra. Then, like the witch in Hansel and Gretel, she stands there, hands clasped, watching and waiting for me to actually eat this crap. Wild hogs wouldn't eat that shit. And here I am at the family Thanksgiving table, surrounded by the boyfriend's relatives, with a disgusting plateful of seedy, veiny green slime smelling like a week-old condom full of deceased sperm and tasting like the endless snot from that time I had bronchitis. Holy fuck! The things we do to get laid. That's true. That is true, Mildred. Thank you for that. And I await the reactions. Maybe there are all okra haters out there, but Ben, my tour manager, he loves okra. I think you got to fry it or pickle it for it to really work. But I think some folks really like it this way. And no, I don't want any, please. None for me. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. It is produced by James Salkind. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast. And most of all, thank you, all of you who ranted so well on this show.